question.
Yeah, well, he was making fun of the Army, basically. Anyhow, so we marched over there, but in between the time we're marching over there, we're whispering back and forth to each other, well, what the hell they want us for? You know, why are we just the ones they want us to go over there, you know? And we're talking about, he said, I bet it has something to do with that thing we saw over there. I bet it has something to do. Sure enough and all that, when we get over there, they bring us in the office one at a time, into the captain's office. And he explains that he has us at attention at first and salute him, you know, and all that stuff. And then he says, sit down. And he said, we have a special project that we've got going on here. And once you've finished your 3 weeks of basic training, if you want to, you can enter it. And it's a project and all that has to do with national security. And it's very special, very honorable to get this, to be able to get this position. If you've been picked, along with others, hand-picked and all that, to be part of it, if you want, if you volunteer. If you agree and you want to, after your 3 weeks of basic and everything, you can enter it, and then you'll get special orders, and you'll also get briefed on exactly what it is that it is and what you'll do, and you'll have a special clearance on and everything. But it's this is something you have to decide for yourself. If you don't want it, if you don't want to do it.
So they didn't give you specifics on
Not
what
at
it was.
time.
They just made it sound enticing.
Special.
Special. You get special designations.
Like you're being assigned to guard the president or something
like
that. You know,
right. And you're young, and you've.
And I, at the time, see, my granddad was on Eisenhower's staff in World War II, and he was part of the plan. He devised the plans for the takeover of the bridge of Remagen in World War II. And that's why I was picked, because of that information.
Because you had former military family success.
And they trusted it, and they and the same was for the guys, other guys that was picked. Now, and I can tell you later how that information was obtained and all that. It was through that sphere was basically looking at us and all that and getting the information compiled and all on every single person was out in that formation. It wasn't just our company. It was other companies out there that saw it. They were all over the parade ground out there and was looking at it. We weren't the only ones.
So you're saying that the sphere was the thing that
gathering information,
collected the information on you guys,
and whoever that's there, that's in contact with that, which is another story altogether, was getting that information from that, and was getting these people picked out to bring in to brief on the possibility of. Now you didn't have to.
You didn't have to do it.
You didn't have to volunteer or enter it. They didn't care.
But you did.
But because I was 19 and was adventurous type, was young,
had it all in front of you.
Was excited, and I was excited about when I first went in there about Patton and all that. I'd seen Patton the movie and all that, and I'd seen the history on my grandfather and stuff, and I was psyched up. I wanted to do something special, and what better way than
serve your country,
to serve my country, than to go right in from basic training right into something real neat, like Green Berets or Special Forces, or anything that was different than. See, when I first went in, I didn't want to be on tanks. I didn't want to get tanks. I didn't want to do infantry either, and that's the two choices I got when I was going through the industrial process up in Richmond. And the medical and all that, they said you got two choices, and maybe later when you're in there, you can choose other things once you've got some time in there and stuff.
Wanted to go out.
Anyhow.
All right. So you.
So anyhow,
You
Where did I leave off?
you decided to go with the program, and I guess you got briefed.
After he told us, after the captain told us and everything, what we were picked for and what we could decide on if we wanted to get into the program, it would be a decision that once you made it and everything, there ain't no, once you sign the papers on it, there is no backing out of it. You're in it.
Right.
And he did tell us that you would have one of the highest clearances in the country. You'd have, the clearance you'd have, he said, was higher than the president. And that really stunned me.
What?
And the clearance was a Luna clearance.
Luna.
Luna clearance.
Luna. L-U-N-A.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And believe me, anybody that's got any information out there that knows anything about clearances will know what that Luna clearance is and how high it goes up the minute they hear it. So, anyhow, so after the 3 weeks, I went through finished the basic training and everything, and graduated from that. And I went home. They let us go home for Christmas. And this is before we ever signed up on the thing and was entered into it or knew anything or did anything. So went home for Christmas, and then bam, back down there and everything. And that's when we were hit with what we were going to go into. And given the choice to go into it or sign the paper and go into it, or back out of it and finish your AIT, your Advanced Individual Training, which would be the training for tanks and armor. And so I signed it and went in. And I wished I hadn't, because a short time, I'd say a little bit over a year, not much more, I said, I don't want in this no more. And that's when they said, well, we're going to have to formulate your record and everything to the point where you're not connected to this anymore, so we're sending you over to Germany and finish your armored training over there, and that'll be on your record as that's what you did while you're in here. Of course, it took me pitching a bitch to get them to do this, because once you're in that thing, they didn't want you to.
They wanted you to go all the way.
They want you to keep going till you were too old to be in there and everything. But basically, to boil it down in a nutshell, I was because of that clearance and being in the program, I had access to all the underground facilities that they got that nobody knows about. Down underneath the bases of military bases that connect, they all connect. The Air Force, Area 51,
Navy,
all of them here. That's where you get these people hearing noises and stuff in Florida and up in Wisconsin and all that. You've heard this lately. You hear these they hear these noises and rumblings and stuff like that. That's just new stuff that they're facilitating and all that. More room. That's all. Part of that, there's so much information on this and all, it'd take forever and all that to get it all documented. But basically, the stuff underground is part of a way of survival and everything.
In the event of an apocalypse.
Well, in this, yes. And to nail it down in a nutshell.
If there was some sort of nuclear or volcanic.
Well, now, it has something to do with events that's going to happen that they know about.
Okay.